This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
They thought building a brand new home would be a dream. Now, an Indianapolis couple says
it's been a nightmare, to say the least.
Call 6 investigates so it doesn't happen to you.
And storm aftermath, fallen trees, overturned trailers, and collapsed structures litter central Indiana. Well, at first, you might think this car was damaged during today's storms, but the light pole that smashed into this Prius fell 2 weeks ago outside of Barham, Massachusetts Avenue. Good evening to you. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Stern. Tina, the owner of that car, turned to RTV6 because until she can figure out who's responsible for the pole, she's facing a massive repair bill.
RTV6's Graham Hunter shows you why that down pole is creating a bigger safety issue.
Witnesses tell me all it took was someone leaning against a pole just like this one to send it crashing onto Natasha Sperry's car 2 weeks later, and she's still trying to figure out who's responsible. It's the case of the great mystery pole.
I realized it had fallen over on my car, my Prius, which was parked right here.
We know it was there, but no one wants to say it was theirs.
IPL came over and removed the pole. Since then, IPL has said it was not their fault.
Natasha Sperry's car was damaged 2 weeks ago. Matt Smith says he saw it all.
There was a gentleman that was kind of stumbling around.
Smith was working that night as a doorman and saw the man lean against the light pole.
And then started to fall over and kind of grabbed the light pole as he was falling. And when he went down, the whole light pole just went down with him.
He says since then it's been dark in front of the bar he works at. He says it's dangerous.
You would pretty sure it'd be secure in the ground, that a person wouldn't just be able to push it over on accident.
I asked DPW who owns the light poles in front of the bar. A spokeswoman said it was IPL.
IPL has refused to take responsibility for any of this, and they've since said it's the city's fault.
Sperry shared this claim rejection letter she got from IPL, which says that pole is customer owned by the Department of Public Works.
The real issue, it's been a public safety issue. That really could have hurt somebody.
Unless someone takes ownership of the light pole, Sperry will be forced to pay a $1,000 insurance deductible to get her car fixed. A spokeswoman from IPL I talked to is still searching for more clarity on who's responsible for the mystery pole. Reporting in downtown Indianapolis, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Graham, thank you. And if you have a problem and need help getting answers, reach out to us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
Some homeowners and businesses will be cleaning up for a while after heavy rain and strong winds blew through central Indiana. Here's some of the damage left behind from today's storms. It includes an overturned trailer. The covering on top of an apartment entrance collapsed, and large trees falling on vehicles, including an Indigo bus.
I'm thankful that I'm alive.
A tree also fell on Cynthia Bates' car at 34th and Washington Boulevard on the north side of Indianapolis. It was especially scary because she was inside the car at the time.
I looked around and my car started disintegrating around me.
Oh my.
Pieces started falling, and then I realized I was hit. And I didn't know what to do. And there was a gentleman outside saying, don't move it's electrical wire across your car. So he directed me how to pull forward and get out from under the tree.
And we also want to mention that Keystone Avenue is closed between Kessler and 56. Utility poles are leaning over the road. You want to watch Good Morning Indiana starting at 4:30 for the latest traffic and road updates. And right now, IPL is reporting nearly 18,000 customers without power. IPL is bringing in crews from other states to work through the night. Now let's get to Kevin with the latest.
Wind estimate 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts in Marion County and southern Hamilton when the line of storms move through this evening. Thunderstorm threat continues overnight. It will be a little more limited. Still that slight risk for severe storms. Temperatures will stay very mild. Let's show you no storms in central Indiana. There's some storms leaving northeast portions of the state. These are all curving into northwest Ohio. We'll watch this line. It's pretty much west to east, and it will just sag slowly to the south. And indications are, I think, north of a Lafayette to Muncie line, the most likely spot overnight for additional thunderstorms. An isolated severe storm can't be ruled out through 7 a.m. Damaging wind and hail would be the main threats. You ready for this? Temperatures mid-80s in the forecast. We'll get into that and when thunderstorms return as we move to the weekend coming up.
Surveillance video shows two people accused of breaking into a home, but not in the cover of night. You can see the sun shining as the suspects stand on the porch, and police say burglaries in broad daylight are happening more often. In this case, several items were stolen this morning from a home in the Heron Morton neighborhood on the north side. Police say you can help curb these types of crimes by knowing your neighbors and your community. Wayne Patrick, who's lived in Heron Morton since 1983, agrees.
Makes a tremendous difference in how we treat the neighborhood, how we treat each other, and how we work together to probably try to eliminate some of those issues.
And police also say, remember, if you see something, say something.
The school year is winding down for many students, but safety is a priority every day of the year. Tonight, we're getting a first-hand look at new school bus technology in Bartholomew County. RTV6 rode along on one of the new buses. They include sensors that can tell when the bus is too close to something and shows driver the speed limit wherever they are and how much time they have to react.
It's flashing that I know I'm going over the speed limit. I'm 2 seconds behind the car. If they would stop, I'd have to do something within 2 seconds in order to avoid a collision.
Bartholomew Consolidated School Corporation is the only district in the state to have this kind of technology.
An Indianapolis family thought they were getting their dream home, but instead they ended up with what they call a nightmare.
It has taken everything that I ever dreamed about and just crushed it. And I don't want to live in this house anymore.
Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny is digging into what happened and found the safeguards the couple thought were in place were not. Kara joins us now with how you can protect yourself.
Dozens of new neighborhoods are under construction in central Indiana. But when you build a new home, the process can be confusing and the system may not protect you the way you think. For Aaron and Tony Lindauer, family is everything.
You've been playing with Sissy.
When Aaron was pregnant with their youngest, they started looking for their forever home. They fell in love with pictures of this home on Bellefontaine in the Kennedy King neighborhood. The builder, Blue Ridge Homes, had already begun construction.
We were having a baby. This would be done a month after the baby was born. You know, perfect scenario.
The Lindauers bought the home and moved in November 27th. Aaron says the problem started 2 months in.
Our walls in our master bedroom were crying, literally. It was just weeping water down our walls.
Concerned, the Lindauers hired an independent inspector who issued this 243-page report. Among the findings, structural problems with walls, unsanitary conditions with the sewage system set up, inadequate insulation, a water heater improperly connected to the furnace exhaust that could lead to poisonous gases getting into the house.
We have carbon monoxide detectors everywhere, and I'm freaked out all the time. You know, that could kill us at night in our sleep.
The inspector also found their deck is not properly supported and the guardrails not attached well, a problem that could lead to serious injury or death. The roof not properly installed, according to the inspector, which could lead to a dangerous event. A handrail not extended the full length of stairs, a potential fall hazard. And the dryer not properly wired, an electrical shock hazard.
I don't even feel safe turning on our dryer.
The Lindauers thought they did things right. Before they bought, they looked at other homes by the same builder.
And so we felt pretty confident about the finished product.
They got a warranty, but later learned the warranty's first 2 years, the builder is responsible for covering any defects caused by faulty workmanship or defective materials. The Lindauers say they notified the contractor of this inspection report, but do not trust them to fix the problems.
It's been a nightmare, to say the least. Nothing has compared to this. I mean, I feel like we've navigated a lot of things in our lifetime. Yeah. I mean, we had a very traumatic birth with our son. This is just beyond. It's beyond because I don't know what to do.
They can't sell the home with its structural issues, and they don't have extra money to fix the problems themselves or rent another place.
We don't have anywhere to go.
What the Lindauers did not know when they moved in November, the home had not yet received its final structural inspection from the city of Indianapolis. That didn't happen until nearly 4 months later. This spring, city inspectors issued more than a dozen code violations for the Bellefontaine home after the Lindauers were already living there. Unlike many other communities, the city of Indianapolis does not issue certificates of occupancy. That's a document issued by a city saying it's safe to live in.
I don't know how we bought this house.
We asked the city how the Lindauers were able to move into a home that had not received its final inspection. A city spokeswoman told us the city's inspection process is separate from real estate transactions, and the city, quote, followed all inspection procedures as set forth in city county code. The builder Blue Ridge Homes address is this home in Franklin Township. Permit records show they have dozens of other homes in the works. In a statement, Watson told us, although the design and construction of the Lindauer home was initially approved by all applicable agencies of the city of Indianapolis, we acknowledge that the Lindauers were affected by other issues with the home. In good faith, we have mutually agreed to buy back the home to minimize the inconvenience to the Lindauer family during repairs. While recognizing that new home construction is not a perfect science and that sometimes things don't go as planned, we nonetheless stand behind our work and support our customers in a fair and compassionate way. We've tried hard to do so here.
They can take it back over, do what they need to do, get it resold. But for us, we just need out.
Permits for new family homes were up 23% in 2018 compared to 2017. So how do you avoid a home building nightmare? We asked Jared Klein. He works for Davis Homes, and he's on the board of directors at the Builders Association of Greater Indianapolis. He recommends having a contract with the builder.
There really should never be any oral agreements. Everything should always be in writing to eliminate any confusion.
You should also hire an independent inspector and work with the builder to fix the issues before you buy.
If it's anything that's any kind of a code circumstance, those should absolutely be addressed before closing.
The Lindauers wish they had walked away and want other families to hear their story and learn from it.
You're building a home, hire an inspector. Hands down, that would have saved us. 2, if it doesn't feel right, if your gut's telling you it's not right, get out.
Baggy also recommends meeting with the builder face-to-face versus just texting and emailing. Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Thanks, Kara. And the Lindauers say they have signed an agreement to sell their property back to Watson's investment company and hope to move out by August 1st. Now, according to the city, none of the code violations have been fixed at the Bellefontaine home. Currently, the city is not taking any additional enforcement against the builder because they are not allowed inside that home.
As Cummins grows, Indiana benefits. Indiana wins.
The prominent company is coming to Johnson County, bringing hundreds of high-paying jobs with it. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
Prices at Ross. Yes for less.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Good news from the Indianapolis Zoo. An elephant diagnosed with the same disease that killed 2 other elephants is showing signs of improvement. Now, the zoo says the elephant, 13-year-old Kadar, is now able to go outside. The survival rate for elephants diagnosed with the rare virus is very low. The zoo's veterinary staff was able to diagnose the illness early and immediately start treatment.
Since May 6th, our animal care staff and our veterinary staff have worked literally around the clock to save his life, and that's not an exaggeration.
The zoo tests all of their elephants twice a week since the disease was identified. It cannot spread to humans or other animals.
A global company will be hiring Hoosiers in Johnson County. Cummins plans to spend at least $68 million on operations at 3 locations, including a brand new facility in Greenwood. The office there will employ roughly 600 technology staffers. The CEO says it's part of a push to increase digital services like apps to customers.
If you're an impatient CEO, we're catching up with the times. If you're in that department, we're screaming ahead. The fact is that we can't move fast enough. We all want to be able to do everything we do with our phones. And we want to provide those services, and we want to also use that same data to develop our engines faster, to have fewer issues and quality problems, to make sure that our customers run better, and even how we source and produce products.
The plans also include changes to the engine plant in Columbus, where Cummins is based. The upgrades will support the company's new electrified power business, and more space will be added to the office in downtown Indianapolis.
You may have a job right now while looking to make a career change. It can be a difficult decision, and tonight our career coach shares advice on how to start on a new path.
You want to take a look at Indiana Career Explorer and do the 3 assessments that are there. They're free. The first assessment is your skills competence, then your career interest, and your work values assessment. Once you get the results from those 3 assessments, you will be given your top 5 career paths.
Ladon Watson with the Central Line in Johnson County also recommends taking the Holland Code Quiz. It's a personality test and is easy to find through a Google search.
RTV6 has been working for you and keeping Central Indiana updated for 70 years when it comes to jobs. In preparation for our 70th anniversary, we've been taking a look back through the RTV6 archives. In 1979, 4 decades ago, we talked to teenagers hunting for summer jobs to keep them busy and their wallets full. The obstacles they ran into on the job hunt are similar to what some young people experience today.
It's been hard for me to find one just because I'm inexperienced or they've already got people working.
Because they usually want you to, older people that can work in the daytime, work the late hours and things like that.
It's really hard to find a job now. Because, you go to employment offer, you got to be a certain age and everything else, So it'd be hard for me to find a job right now.
You can find plenty of summer and full-time positions available right now under the Career Resources page at hiringhoosiers.com. We hope you'll join us on May 30th when RTV6 celebrates 70 years together working for you. Former anchors Clyde Lee and Dion Willis will lead us in a 1-hour special at 7 p.m.
Well, a restaurant that opened in Speedway decades ago is now closed. Grindstone Charlie's abruptly shut down this week. It opened in the Speedway Supercenter in 1997. A town spokesperson says the operator of the shopping center and the company decided not to renew the lease. Another restaurant is expected to renovate and occupy the space by the end of the year.
A popular Indianapolis museum is here to stay. Today, Kurt Vonnegut Library tweeted it has raised its goal of $1.5 million to pay for a permanent home at the corner of Indiana Avenue and MLK. The museum's lease expired at a building on Senate Avenue back in February. Right now, part of the collection is at a pop-up museum at Circle Center Mall. Vonnegut died in 2007. He was an author, a satirist, and a World War II veteran.
Well, that storm, it came and it went and it left a mark.
Yeah, it did. Lots of trees down. There was power outages still, so some of you could be watching us on the RTV6 app, perhaps. Let's talk about overnight and then the next couple of days as some of the warmest temperatures of 2019 roll in. Have you stepped outside recently? It's still warm. 67 in Muncie, 63 in Indianapolis. There are no storms in central Indiana. There are no severe watches. In other words, no severe weather is imminent. We may have some isolated thunderstorms overnight. These storms in northern Indiana from South Bend to Fort Wayne are moving to the south and east and will move into Ohio. It's here that we'll watch northern portions of Illinois. This line may slowly drift south and increase the chance for thunderstorms, especially in north central Indiana. This is kind of the railroad track, the spark for the thunderstorms, the dividing line between the warm, mild air that we have now, or warm and humid air, and then the cooler temperatures to the north. The yellow represents the slight risk category for severe storms. The threats would be the same as earlier, but I think on a lower scale as far as wind and hail. Tornado threat very low. As you look at the next 3 days, temperatures 84 tomorrow. The warmest we've been so far in 2019 is 81 on 2 different occasions. We'll be in the mid-80s Saturday, best day of the weekend, because our thunderstorm chances will increase as we get to the afternoon hours on Sunday. Tomorrow, temperatures already middle to upper 60s to start with. Temperature by noon, upper 70s, and then we work our way into the low to mid-80s. First thing in the morning, chance for thunderstorms is greatest north of Lafayette, Kokomo. Some thunderstorms from Peru up to South Bend. Those slide to the east. Through the day tomorrow, during the heating of the day, the most likely time, 1 to about 4, that we begin to see these isolated thunderstorms pop up. That lingers into the weekend as well. As we get to Saturday, the threat for rain will push to the north as the warmer air lifts all the way toward the state line with Michigan. Any severe weather threat tomorrow, a lower overall chance and more to the north rather than central Indiana. There are your high temperatures, warmest to the south where your rain chance is the lowest. lowest. Temperatures Saturday 85 with decent amount of sunshine. It will be windy. Wind southwest 15, gusting well over 20. 79 the temperature on Sunday. With thunderstorms developing, they become a little more likely. Temperatures Saturday at noon almost 80 degrees. Should be actually above 80 in a couple of spots. Afternoon readings then warm to 85. The chance for thunderstorms holds off and becomes more likely in the afternoon on Sunday. Here's your forecast. Overnight, a few rumbles of thunder, a couple of isolated stronger storms. 84 tomorrow. The chance of afternoon storms just 30%. Saturday's dry. Feels like summer, 85. Chance for thunderstorms increases Sunday, 79. Even when we're, quote, cooler next week, we're still well in the 70s at average or above average as far as temperatures are.
Just in time for the race.
Right.
Getting there.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Kevin, for that. Well, he carries one of the racing's most well-known names there, but Graham Rahal is ready to make his own way in the family business. Next, Brad Brown has a look at his new venture that's helping wannabe racers go even faster.
Jeep Ram.
The only name you need to know.
This is one of the few times you'll find Graham Rahal not going fast. When he's not on the track, Graham's helping weekend racers go fast too.
The main focus for us here is to build cool cars. Suspensions, exhaust we manufacture and, sell exhaust systems, brake packages. Most of it cross-pollinated with racing stuff.
The Graham Rahal Performance Shop is located on the edge of Brownsburg. With the right car and the right amount of money, the crew here can make fast cars faster and nice cars even nicer.
All these things kind of came together. I had worked with a lot of these companies in racing. It just made sense to come here and to be able to do that and grow it here on this sort of platform.
Rahal's always been a car guy. The shop was just a natural extension of his tendency to tinker and his passion for performance.
It's been in my head, pretty much my entire life. My brother works here. My brother Jared is here with me. And it really started with he and I as a kid messing around with everything in the car, in the garage, messing around with Dad's cars, tweaking things. And, it was probably just like a pipe dream at the time. And sometimes I think it should have stayed a pipe dream. But,
So what's the best way to make your car track ready? Hand it over to a guy who's gone fast on the track his whole life.
Like this car now has silver brake calipers with lettering on the calipers that match the paint of the car. Like Porsche doesn't offer that. Nobody offers that. So we make it unique. So now this guy has a one of one. We're lean and mean here a little bit. Just got to help out. I mean, you have to, where you can, and that's kind of my job as well.
GRP sits right across the street from John Force Racing, doing business right alongside his father-in-law.
How is it having the neighbors, having pops across?
Well, it's good, yeah. John's across the street. He's also our landlord. He's way too expensive. But aside from that, our race team is right next door too. So it's a great area for us. I have a lot of plans, my mind never stops. When it comes to growth, I'm always on it, probably too much. I think about it too much maybe. But this is here to stay. We're here to try to take care of the community and let everybody here locally have some fun.
Looks great. Well, a scary crash early during Thursday's practice. Rookie driver Patricio Award lost control of his car in turn 2 and hit the wall hard. He nearly flipped it over before the car finally rested back on 4 wheels. Award said afterwards he was rattled just a bit, but felt fine overall. His Carlin Racing team is working to get a backup car ready for Friday. And practice continues tomorrow on Fast Friday. Gates open at 10. Cars on track starting at 11. They're scheduled to run until 6 p.m. and qualifying starts Saturday morning at 11. It continues on Sunday. The last row shootout at noon. The Fast 9 will go for pole at 1. Another practice scheduled from 3 to 6 p.m. Dave First and Brad Brown will be there for us all weekend long, and we will wrap up the news at 11 next.
Sponsored by Turning Point Dental and Duncan.
And there's a very narrow thunderstorm watch that touches northwest Indiana through the overnight. As far as additional thunderstorms between 1 and 3, the most likely area from Lafayette to Kokomo north. Same at 7 a.m. Isolated strong storm possible.
Okay, get the latest on that power outages. Watch GMI at 4:30.
Good night.